quick tips and tricks for using the timeline in DaVinci Resolve? Let's go. Okay guys, so here we go. The first thing to look at is how to adjust your screen so the timeline is just as you want it. So here's the timeline. I've already moved some clips in. Now if you want to make the timeline bigger, you can click on the menus that are selected. As you see, this will turn them off and that will help to increase the size of the timeline. You can also change the size of the individual windows by dragging them. As you can see, the video and the audio clips, you can also change the size of those well. So if I just turn these back on, that's one thing you can do. Now what happens when you want to add a clip to the timeline? So double click on it and just drag your mouse to where you want and press the in marker and drag it to the other part you want and click the out marker. Now all you need to do is click on the actual clip itself once you've done this, and it will drag your selected clip into the main timeline, not the whole clip, just the selection that you've done. So once it's in the main timeline, you may be thinking, well, what if I want to edit something when it's in the timeline? Well, what I do is if I just say I want to select this one, change this one. So if I highlight the clips on the right of it and drag them out, it means I can edit it in the timeline. Now the reason why I do this is because if you select the clip and you, as you see here, drag it to make it smaller, it will make the clip on the right larger automatically to fill in the gap. So that's why I always highlight and separate them, and that will enable me to work on a clip in isolation. So if I just make this smaller, you can then click on the gap in the middle if you want to delete the gap and press the delete key. Now pressing the delete key deletes the space as well as any clip in the middle. Now if you want to delete something but keep the space there because you want to fill it again, just highlight it and click the backspace. And as you can see, this will leave the space in place. So I'm just going to Control Z there to undo. Now if I want to add a soundtrack to this, for example, I can do it straight in the Edit tab. So here's my soundtrack. I'm just dragging it straight in to the Edit tab, and I'm going to drag this straight from here into the timeline, which is what you can do. If you don't want to edit it, you can drag things straight into the main timeline. Now obviously this, as you can see here, it's too big, so we need to make it smaller. Now it's quite tedious to drag all the way to the right, so you can use the zoom feature, zoom in or zoom out. So I'm zooming out. Now that will enable me to easily drag and reduce the size of the clip, and I'm going to zoom in again so I can see what the timeline is like, and I'm just going to make this the right size. There we go. Now you probably saw there are actually a couple of dots at the top, and if I just hold it there, so you see playheads. Now if I drag these in, this is basically like a fade in and fade out, so that will enable the music to nicely fade in and fade out, and you can do this on video clips too. So if I do this on the video clip at the end and just show you what this is, it means that when I play it, you'll see that the clip has a nice fade out, and you can do that straight in the main timeline, which I find is a really useful feature. So what happens when you want to delete the sound of just one track? If I select and delete, you'll see it deletes the whole track. You've got to separate the video from the audible tracks. So right click, click link clips, and I will unselect them, so you can see that when you delete a clip using the backspace, it will just do that to one clip. Same here, and you can see that the paper clip, you can see that that's gone when you do this. Now what happens when you want to edit something in the timeline and you want to, like, zoom in or zoom out? So if I ensure that this is selected, my playhead's here, and I want to zoom in on this clip, and I'm zooming in and nothing is happening, and you may think, really, what's happening here? Now if I move over, you can see that I've selected a different clip and the playhead wasn't over it, so I couldn't see, but it was editing this clip. And this just goes to show you need the playhead over the clip you're selecting, because the clip that you've selected will be the one being edited whether the playhead is over it or not. So always ensure they're both over the same area, and that's something that tripped me up at first. Now finally, the mute button, I find this really handy to use, and that just enables you to mute or disable a track if you want to work on specific tracks or do something without being disturbed. So that's it for now. I hope that you found this useful. Thank you very much to Paul T for inspiring this episode. If there's anything you'd like to see or any hints or tips of your own, please let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, I hope that you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next time.